Sports, halftime in the Man City versus Man United match. 1-0 to Man City. Same old for me. Same old. This looks very reminiscent to the Arsenal Man United match. Man United have played well overall. We can argue that we don't deserve to go in 1-0 down, but same old story. They get one chance and it's a goal. Goalkeeper parries this time, so we can't. Sorry, not the goalkeeper parries. Ugarte parries the cross, but they get a bit lucky because that block comes back to their player, who then puts in a cross, and what a header really from Foden. I say what a header because he had a lot to do, in my humble opinion. Small guy was reaching backwards, not necessarily the best cross. I think it was a good cross considering it was a rebound, but Foden did really well, and bit of a moment of brilliance, and Man City are 1-0 up. Since then, Man United again. We've played well, but I just want to talk. I just want to talk about one major issue. I spent the preview talking about the midfield, and I spent the best part of the first couple of games talking about Bruno Fernandes. He's back at it again. He's a weakness. Bruno Fernandes is our best player, and maybe I should stop saying this line, but he's a weakness. He gives balls away. He's just making the wrong decisions. And the more I'm seeing him, the more I'm now, in hindsight, wishing we ended up selling him to the Saudi League, because he wants to be that big fish in the pond, but the pond's just gone bigger. It's no longer that Man United with very lackadaisical players, not very much ability. Bruno Fernandes now has got players around him who have got just as much, if not more, ability than him. And he wants to still shine. Now, he's playing in a position which is central midfield, where the best way to shine is to keep it simple. And I know there are pockets of fans. I've heard it. My WhatsApp's blowing up. Bruno as a midfielder doesn't work. Bruno as a needs to be in the 10. Sure, we can look at that, and maybe if I decide to rewatch this crappy half, perhaps I'll come up with a similar kind of solution. But I think it's too simplistic. I've seen Bruno mistime passes, which footballers should not do in any position. I wouldn't take it in defense. I wouldn't take it in attack. So this theory that he's playing out of position, no, guys, he's a number 8. He's a number 10 playing in a number 8 position. In fact, if you ask Amorim, clearly he fancies him more as a number 8. Bruno Fernandes himself, I'm pretty sure, with a number 8 on his arm, he wants to do that. He wants to play in that position. Now, maybe he lacks the physicality, maybe he lacks the discipline to play that number 8 position, but it's meant to be a libero position. I think he's doing the position fine. What he's not doing is doing the basics. You can't misplace passes like that on any position of the field. That's one. Secondly, he runs, but he doesn't sprint when needed. He doesn't track his players. I think that's the most important part. These two things, tracking of the player, of his opponent, and mistiming his passes, giving the ball away, those are two crucial problems in Bruno's game. And the third one for me is his attitude. He keeps complaining, keeps moaning. A couple of times he's looking at, I remember one where he was looking at Ahmad, looks at Ahmad, clearly trying to tell him where to go, etc., ends up giving the ball away. Look after your own game and then worry about the others. So I'm a big fan of Bruno Fernandes. You know, ever since he's come to Man United, he's shown brought brilliant numbers in terms of goals, assists. He's been the talisman, super passionate. As a fellow Belgian like me, he's just had his birthday, like I have. I like him. Talks a good game. Talks well. Comes across, really well in front of the media as well. However, he's not doing the basics, and in big matches, it's costing us. Against Arsenal, I made him the worst player on the pitch. He's not had very many good games. I think his best game has been against Grimsby. Scored 2 penalties and, you know, looked to class up. But against the big opposition, the big teams, he's getting found out because he's trying to do too much. He's almost trying to complicate the game, unlock defenses from. You don't unlock defenses from midfield, not against Man City, not playing against Rodri. Do the basics. So, what can we expect for second half? For me, we're going to have to, in my opinion, push Bruno Fernandes a little bit more up front. He's not going to sub him. Can't sub our captain in this match. But at least if he gives the ball away playing as a 10, it's less problematic. But in that midfield, giving the ball away, he's exposing our defense. Manu Ugarte has done well. He's swept up a couple of times. He's had to. And that's what I meant in the preview. We have to have a super tenacious player next to Bruno Fernandes, somebody who can almost marshal his movement on Bruno Fernandes's play. And that's a pretty difficult thing to do. Some of my friends are talking about Paul Scholes and Roy Keane. Paul Scholes, sure, was a maverick, but not like Bruno Fernandes. He wouldn't run haphazardly. He wouldn't be so ill-disciplined. Put in a tackle. He's a lot more disciplined than this. He dictated games with his range of passing. And my goodness, let's not even go into the passing, because Bruno may appreciate Scholes, may want to be Scholes, and Bruno has got a lot of ability, but he's certainly not Scholes in his passing ability. I mean, Scholes never gave the ball away, hitting balls 40 yards. Bruno can't even find a 10-yard pass at the moment. So, major issues. How I see this panning out, I think Bruno's got to take one of the number 10 positions. I'm not quite convinced Ahmad and Mbeumo as 10s, both of them as 10s, whether they work. They found each other a couple of times. I think I prefer Ahmad and Mbeumo both on the same sort of wing, but in the second half coming on just to attack and change games. I'm not sure against Man City how they're going to play. United overall played well. I also want to highlight Benjamin Sesko. I think he was unlucky. I'm not sure if it would be given as a handball, but he controlled a brilliant ball, or he controlled the ball brilliantly and got a decent touch. Unfortunately, hit Donnarumma right on the chest. If we give him another couple of chances, I'll back him to score. But this is the thing. We have to give him the chances. Something else that stands out for me is just the lack of crosses and the lack of quality crosses. Lack of bodies in the box. Towards the end there, we were pushing, we were playing in Man City's half and calling for a cross. In the end, I think Shaw delivered a cross. There was only Shesko in the box, and on the right was Mbeumo. That cross found neither of them. It was certainly, I believe, aimed at Shesko, and it found a Man City player. So we've got to improve. Just become a little bit more. Find that kind of like cutting edge. That last bit of quality is evading us at the moment. But yeah, I go back to Bruno. We can't have our captain. We can't have anyone, let alone our captain, miss time passes, give the ball away so easily. Amrim, you've got to sort this out. Hopefully he does. And let's hope, unlike the Arsenal game, that we can actually score and get something out of this game, because it's no good, no use us saying, oh, well, we're playing well, you know, we're not getting dominated against Arsenal, we're not getting dominated against Man City, playing away to those teams. Not getting dominated is not the standard that we need to aim for. We haven't threatened to score yet. We've not hit the target and forced the goalkeeper into a major save. So we've got things to improve on. Let's hope we do. And yeah, I'll see you guys all after the match. Let's hope the scoreline changes. I don't want a repeat of the 1-0 defeat against Arsenal. Let's hope we get something from this match. Let's hope we score. So, come on, United. Come on, guys. Let's support them. Thank you.